Okay, I think so. We're recording. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
It's good to
I
see
am
you.
so happy to be here with you.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. Well, if you guys don't know me already, I'm Melissa Charity, Red Hot Now, and this is the fabulous, amazing Sharon Khoury. No, I'm serious. She's an intuitive, divine reader of your light and power and purpose. And she's first of all, she's a student of Course in Miracles. She wanted me to say that. But she has her own spiritually based business, which she's just launching. She's just getting into it right now, guys. You're looking at her on the ground floor, and she's off like a rocket. She utilizes her intuitive mediumship to help people become who they truly are.
Right.
So, and the reason why I wanted to have Sharon on today was because she and I were talking about Napoleon Hill. And we had this great conversation a month or so ago. And I had said to her, I didn't really get that much out of his book because I had read it a long time ago. I don't know if you guys have ever read Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich. But I think it was written in 37. Is that
I
right?
think so. It was definitely the 30s. Yeah.
Right? Something like that. And it just, it's a bestseller for, decades, right? And everybody goes to it as a go-to book to learn how to manifest your desire and manifest whatever it is that you want. And he studied all these really successful people, and he put together this, he studied what they did and he learned from them. And then he put together this idea of, and process, if you will. Am I explaining this properly?
Yeah.
About how to manifest and bring your desire into physical reality, which for most people, or this book is focused on making money. So I tried using this book a few, like 8 years ago. I got nothing, zero results, nothing happened. And I put it down, but then Sharon and I were talking, right? And you
Yeah.
were like, and you sent me the book. You sent me
Oh, yeah, I did.
a copy of the book again. And I was like, I meant to read this if Sharon sends this to me. And I did. And I was, and then you and I talked, and you were explaining to me, how you used this book for your own purposes. And I think a lot of people will get a lot out of what you're going to tell us today because it's so powerful. It's like it's doing it the way you do it was in a way that felt good for you.
Exactly. And I think he was certainly progressive for his time. And I think the book is genius. And I loved in the book how he talked about faith, having faith, and creating with emotion and love. And I couldn't agree more with all of those things. But here's where it got a little awkward or whatever for me is I felt there was so much male energy coming from that book that the process of creating, although he talked about faith and love, it had this male, like this underlying male, like you got to do it this way. This is the formula, and if you don't stick to this formula, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
And if I take a class and I keep to the rules that teacher creates, and I'm only reaching a certain, like her ceiling or his ceiling, right? So I want to create it in a way that feels good for me, and that's basically what I did with the book. So in the book, he talks about how in order to receive, you have to give, which of course, law of giving and receiving, we all know this, right? You cannot give what you do not have, right? And it's a cycle. Life is a cycle. So he talks about how you have to, in order to receive money, you have to be able to give something in return. So I came up with this genius idea that, and this was literally a year ago, February. So it's ironic we're having this conversation now. Is that it is perfect. I wanted to create or attract $2,100 in the month of February. And I was good. And I know that I had to give in order to receive. So I thought, all right, well, I will just increase my workload. So I will see additional clients for intuitive and mediumship readings. And somehow that will total $2,100. So that's how I'll give and I'll receive through the energy of money. Okay, great. But what he instructs you to do in the book is you have to write that intention out, how you're going to receive the money and what you're going to give for the money. And then you need to read this intention in the morning and at night. And I'm really great at starting projects, Melissa, but I'm like, after day 3 or 4, I'm like, well, I can't even bother. And that's what happened here. Like day 4, I'm like, oh my God, reading this intention twice a day is killing me. I don't know what it was. It was just like, I can't do it. So I was in my office here, and for day 4, looked at the intention, and I said to my guides, I can't do this. It's just too much work this way for me. It feels like kind of this energy instead of that energy. So I said to my guides, do you have a suggestion for me? Because I don't know what to do. And what the thought that came to my head was, do what you do best, which is surrender. So that is so true of my life through my addiction issues, narcotics, alcohol. I've really learned how to surrender stuff. So I thought that was a genius idea. So I sat in here and I said to my higher power and my higher self and God, I'm like, I know money will not go where it is not loved. And you know what's in my heart. So if it is for me to have this $2,100, fabulous. If not, that's okay too. I place this on your altar with so much love and compassion that you all know what's best for me. And I let it go. And I can't tell you how relieved I felt. Like, oh my God, finally it's over. And that was on a Monday at 7:30 in the morning. And I had been doing some work for someone, and I had gone above and beyond for this person. And so I had a meeting with her that morning, and at 8 o'clock, I walked into her office, and she was so thankful and appreciative of the work I did. And she literally said to me, name your price. Literally. And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, $2,100. But here's the interesting part of that. A year ago, I didn't have the ovaries to say, I want $2,100. And that's a whole other conversation about women and money, right? That's for another time.
The ovaries. I love
Yes, it did not have the ovaries, right? So when she said, name your price, I was like thinking in my head, literally a half an hour ago, I surrendered that money. So she ended up doing something very nice, that she sent me and my husband away for 2 nights somewhere, left her credit card on file so we could use all the services that this place had. And when I was driving home that night, I realized after the weekend, like that was about a $2,100 weekend. And so that's how the money came to me. And it was nice because it was something I was able to share with my husband as well. And that's what I felt like when I read his book, that there is an aspect of doing it and knowing that you can create it, but in a way that's just softer and more feminine. And that's what I needed. I mean, like, look, when a mommy and daddy love each other very much, right? They do a special thing. And when they do this special thing, have sex, through love, they create another human, right? So love creates. Like, we are programmed to know that love creates. And so I've taken his book and my own little creation of this, and I create from that space of constant love. And however, and not so much like it has to be my way, like I need exactly $2,100, or I need to create, X number of clients during the week, or whatever it is. It's like, I know that I can create and co-create with God, the universe, whatever you believe in, through the power of love, because I truly believe it's the elixir for everything. So that's how I took his book and made it into a more softer, feminine way. I mean, women are all about receiving, right? We're not always so good. We're not always so good about receiving for ourselves. But if you block that energy of receiving for yourself, then things just can't get in. And which is why I said to you, and I think I said it to you during our last interview, how money will not go where it is not loved. So you have to be able to always be in the energy of receiving.
Wow.
Yeah. And literally, Melissa, within a half an hour, I had that money. And that's how powerful, just knowing that the universe is always working on your best and highest good. Like, literally, we don't always see it, hear it, or feel it, but it's true. And I feel like that story and that happened to me was the universe's way of saying, just always have faith that we got your back.
Wow. Yeah. That is such a powerful story. Incredible.
Yeah. I share it a lot with clients who are trying to create, but from their head. And if you can just kind of move that down from here to here and create from faith and love. And I'm not saying like people shouldn't be doing their email lists or all the stuff that we know how to market and to get stuff out there. But as long as you're doing that from a place of giving, then that's where the real magic happens. But creating from your head, which is I think really is what I felt about Napoleon's book, was I felt like I had to be in my head about it, and I think that's what felt wrong to me.
Yeah, exactly. And so after you and I talked about that, I came back and I actually sat with Napoleon Hill stuff for a little bit, and I read bits and pieces of the chapters again, and but then I kind of let that go, because that's that energy about the book, like it's a little bit, it feels so I feel pressure from that book, a little bit too much.
Yes, that's how I felt.
Yeah, and I mean I was kind of looking at it from an intellectual standpoint, right? So it's from your head, so it's like, oh, that's interesting. But then I'm like, well, how do I bring that back into my heart, into my body, into my spirit, to what I really want? And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this exercise, and I'm not going to make it about money, right? Because money is, for me, a trigger, right? So I'm going to make it about what is it that I really want to create? Like what you're saying is such a beautiful, not concept, but just fact about bringing love into the world and making love and creating a human being. Right. And I love that. That explains so much and makes so much sense to me, because what I love to do is I love to connect with women. I love to, and men too, don't get me wrong. I love to talk to women and men, okay, who are creating spiritual businesses, right. Because I think a lot of businesses are spiritual. There's so many different ways to interpret what I'm saying here, but from a place of love, I think to me that's what spiritual business is about, is being from a place of love and giving back. And I wanted to talk to women and men about what they do and how they do it. And I said, I told myself, okay, I'm going to do this interview series, because I've always loved doing interviews and talking to people, and this is what I want to do. And so I wrote that down through the Napoleon Hill process, right? And I wrote this whole list, of what I'm going to do to receive it. What is my plan? What do I want to get out of it? What am I going to give? That whole thing. And I swear to God, I put it away. I wrote it down. I actually write in longhand now. I used to type on the computer, and now I write out everything, even though I can't read what I write because my handwriting is horrible. But I just wrote it out, and I put my notebook away. And 2 hours later, I get a phone call from my spiritual mentor, Sharon Khoury. And she and I had this long conversation. Yes. And then she's talking about this program that she's starting. And I was like, oh, I'd love to talk to you about that. And I said, why don't I do an interview with you? And she said, okay, great. And then I said, when should we do it? And then we just set the date. And and then boom, it happened. I wasn't even thinking about what I had written that morning.
Right. That is faith.
Right. It just, because that's what I really wanted, is what my heart desires.
Yeah.
And then it came to me, and just and I didn't even have to read it twice a day. I only read it once.
And you know what I think is beautiful about that story, Melissa, is that we're all waiting, usually, or we're taught to anyway, waiting for something to happen instead of coming from, it's already in you. Everything is already in you. Nothing needs to happen for you to live a big life. It's already in there. It's just allowing it to come out, which is what you did, was here's what I want. It's in my heart's desire. And then you just kind of went about your day, and it was like the universe kind of orchestrated the rest for you, which is exactly how it works. So it comes from within out. It's not like we have to make lists and plans and all this stuff, man. It's just, and haven't you ever noticed the best conversations happen in a grocery line or in a Starbucks line? Yes. Or you those are such
exactly.
You couldn't plan for that, or you overhear something, your world is your oracle. You overhear the name of a book. You're at the produce section at the store, and you overhear someone talking about a book. I mean, it's you can't plan for these things, but if you are always, always, always in the energy of love, and, I smile at everyone I see. Even, people who maybe are snarky, whatever, I don't care. I just smile at everyone. As long as I can anchor that energy of love constantly, I can't tell you the amazing good things that have happened to me because of it.
I love that. I love hearing that.
It's truly about love and faith, and just trusting that humanity that we're all heading in the right direction, regardless of what you're seeing on the news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the biggest challenge for a lot of people and for me is to, watch the news and send love.
I think especially it's hard today, this week.
I agree. And it's, sometimes I feel like people think that people that just are in a position of constant love see us as maybe weak or vulnerable. But let me tell you, it takes a lot of work to hold and be a container of love in the face of adversity. You look at the shooter in Florida, like that child was a victim too. And that wouldn't be a popular thing to say. But we're all here just, right, it wouldn't. I looked, and same with the Sandy Hook shooter. I know it's not popular, but that child was a victim as well. Because we're all just doing the best we can. And it's everything that's happening happens to wake us up. So if we can just live our lives in awareness and being fully awake, knowing the universe has our back, and but more importantly, knowing that we all have it within us, no matter what it is that you want, not waiting for the right circumstance, waiting for the right time, waiting for the kids to grow up, whatever. It's like now is the time, and you already have it. So harness that energy.
I love that.
Thank you, Melissa.
That's beautiful.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too, Sharon. I always love talking to you. This has been so inspiring and enlightening, as it always is, speaking with you. So
I
hope you guys take what she's saying really to heart, literally to heart, and create some space for yourself to manifest through this process in the way of love and divine wisdom, divine feminine wisdom, because what Napoleon Hill really has given us this beautiful gift of how to manifest desire, and is because if it feels too pushy or edgy or too masculine, there's ways for you to make it yours. And I think Sharon has developed a beautiful process for how she manifests things in the world, and so I hope you all get something out of that today. So thank you for joining us. I love you.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Melissa.
And if you want to check out Sharon, where are they supposed to find you?
Well, my website's being created. I don't have it just yet, but you can find me on Facebook at Grace and Gratitude. And all my information's on there.
Grace and Gratitude on Facebook.
Yes.
And what word? Grace and Gratitude. Well, if you type it into the browser, Grace and Gratitude, you'll.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you will.
And it's Sharon Courtot, Courtot.
Perfect. Yes. Thanks.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I'll put a link in there somewhere, but okay. Thank you so much, Sharon.
All right. Thanks, Melissa. All righty. Bye-bye.